Good afternoon, MPC. Kasama na natin si Chief Presidential Legal Counsel and Presidential Spokesperson, Salvador Panelo.
Good afternoon, MPC, and welcome back, Joseph Morong.
Questions? Ace.
Secretary, what prompted the President or the administration to lift the suspension on the talks on the loans and grants from countries who supported the resolution on the drug war?
I haven't asked him that. I will ask him. I intend to ask him.
But this change of policy, is this some form of easing of our hardline stance against, countries perceived to be interfering with the Philippine sovereignty?
That's why I'm going to ask the President.
But what are the impact? What's the impact of this lifting? Ano yung nakikita niyong
Well, you must remember
implication
that that was made because of what these countries did when they passed that resolution condemning the war on drugs in this country. And it was more of an outrage reaction. Having already expressed our stand on that, perhaps there is now a reason to change it.
So may nangyari that prompted?
That's why I'm going to ask the President exactly what's the reason behind.
Salamat, Sec.
Joseph?
Sir, I don't know if it has something to do with it, no, pero 27 the lift, right? And then March 2, the U.S. Embassy, USAID, announced that it's donating 37 million US dollars para makatulong sa Pilipinas to fight the COVID. Hindi ba ito, sir, yung trigger to allow it?
Hindi ko alam. I'll have to ask the President to be sure.
Okay, sir, thank you.
MPC questions? Other issue? Joyce?
Sir, good afternoon.
Joyce.
Sir, any update on the meeting of the President last
On
night?
the what?
I think meeting ni President Duterte regarding Marawi rehabilitation.
Hindi, we haven't talked eh.
Was it the President who asked for the meeting?
Hindi ko alam. Kailangan tanungin muna natin.
Sige, sir.
Hindi pa pwedeng magsalita ka nang hindi mo nakakausap ang Presidente.
Okay. Virgil?
Sir, yung statement na lang dun sa helicopter crash.
Yeah, we already issued a statement.
Paulit lang, sir. Paulit lang.
Of course, we were shocked and sad to hear about the chopper crash. At the same time, we're glad that only minor injuries were suffered by the passengers.
Sir, would you know if the President will be visiting sila Gamboa at yung iba pang sugatan
Most likely, yung gano'n naman si Presidente.
soon? I mean, like today? Or
Depende resting pa siya.
okay, sir, thank you.
Julie, follow up.
Sir, a bit related to the President. Di ba si President Duterte usually takes choppers pag going to events, di ba? Given na this latest incident involved no less than the PNP chief, although minor injuries lang naman. Is the PSG or is the palace undertaking measures or considering yung use ng choppers given na may recent incident? For the President's safety, of course.
According to the PNP, that's a latest acquisition. And it's a very good chopper. So apparently it's really an accident.
Even if it's a latest acquisition, sir, nangyari pa rin po yung accident. So ano po yung magiging steps ng palace?
Kasi
to
hindi
ensure
natin
na-
alam, iniimbestigahan pa whether it was a pilot error or engine. Pero wala pa eh. Let's wait for the investigation.
So as of now, the incident won't affect the President's penchant for taking choppers to events.
I don't think, naman the President. The President always says If it's my time, it's my time.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Fatalistic siya.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Questions? Trisha? Microphone, please, Daryl. Thank you.
Hi, sir. Good afternoon. With during the cabinet meeting, sir, did you somehow discuss, because there are a lot of things that happened. There's COVID-19, then we had the Taal eruption. So medyo sunod-sunod yung calamities. Did the finance department, or I don't know who's in charge, report if we need more help or support financially?
The victims?
I'm sorry.
The victims, you mean?
No, sir. In general, with all the calamities that's happening, to support the Taal victims, COVID-19.
But we have already
repatriates.
protocols on that. All the agencies have been responding and have responded to the events that you mentioned.
Yeah, but do we still have enough funds? This is actually linked to the question of yun nga po yung
Yes,
sa
I think
grants.
we have enough funds. Otherwise, the president would have said that we need to get some more funds.
So that's not that won't be, sir, the reason why we're lifting the not
I already
necessarily
answered
the
that
reason.
question.
Okay, Prince?
Hi sir, good afternoon. Sir, reaction lang doon sa naging payag ni Senator Richard Gordon na on Twitter, it appears that the senator was blaming President Duterte for the crimes and risks brought in by POGOs. He said na hindi daw mangyayari ito if the government was not too soft on China.
I disagree. Then he does not know this president. The president is never soft on anything that relates to the national interest. He's a very decisive president.
Sir, what measures have been taken by this government, sir, to arrest the worsening issues related to POGOs?
Well, as I've said, was it yesterday? Any malpractice, any corruption, any irregularity relative to any activity or project in this government are always being investigated. And after the findings, the president will act, as always, decisively.
Okay, Pia?
Sir, reaction na dun sa sinabi ni Senator Lacson na apparently there are reports that there are 3,000 Chinese soldiers in Manila.
3,000 soldiers?
Yes.
Chinese?
3,000 alleged members of the China's People's Liberation Army. Apparently, they're in the Philippines now on an immersion mission. But Senator Lacson said that this report has yet to be validated. Pero has the palace or the president received reports on that already, sir?
None that I know of, since he himself said it has to be validated, then it's a raw intelligence report on his part. Then
Yes,
we
sir.
have to investigate.
Si President, sir, did he already say something about yung case nung isang, yung dalawang suspects na pumatay sa kanilang kapwa Chinese national na nahulihan ng mga IDs ng na members sila ng PLA?
That was already investigated.
But what did the President say about it, sir?
We didn't take that up in the cabinet. You know, when police enforcers do their job, the president let them. And the next step would be to prosecute if the perpetrators have been identified.
Sir, back dun sa 3,000 alleged, will the palace move to validate this report, sir?
I'm sure the AFP is already validating that, given that it is being reported by no less than a senator of the republic.
Pero if ever, sir, na this report proves true, do you see this as a big concern?
A what?
Do you see this as a cause for alarm or concern po?
We are always alarmed with respect to national interest issue.
Ay, thank you.
Okay, follow up, Henry?
Reaction lang, Secretary, sabi ni Senator Gordon, why is Palace hurt when China is involved in issues?
Which is wrong. I cannot even understand why he's saying that. Remember, I think that came from one of our press briefings when I was asked relative to his statement that what did he say? There are money laundering, something. And I said, then he can share us with the information. That's the only statement I made, which is, I cannot even understand why he's reacting. Because we are all government officials. If one particular agency or office or any department or branch of government has knowledge of any report on any anomaly or any violation of law, then it is the duty of everyone in this government to share information. We should be cooperating with each other. Certainly we are not hard. In fact, I said that's a welcome news coming from the senator. That is precisely why I was asking and hoping that he could share that information to our police authorities. Because if the police authorities do not know that yet, then that would be very welcome to them.
So what do you exactly want to tell Senator Gordon?
Exactly what I said. We are not hurt. We're even welcoming what he said. And that is precisely we're requesting if he can share information with the police authorities if they do not know that yet.
All right. Can we have another question?
Follow-up muna, Julie.
Sir, medyo i-rephrase ko lang po yung kay Pia. What would be or what is the extent of the palace's alarm or concern regarding reports that there are 3,000 Chinese PLA soldiers in Manila, even if it is not yet validated, considering that it's not just an national interest issue, but an issue of national security?
We have to validate that first. We cannot be making statements relative to anything that is based on speculation and unverified reports.
Okay, sir.
We do not want to be irresponsible in issuing statements.
Okay, sir. So not unless there's any validation of its veracity,
course.
we cannot issue any statement
That
that
goes
would
without
express alarm
saying.
or
All we
concern.
can say is we in the government is always concerned with any issue affecting the national interest and national security.
Okay, sir. Sir, the president, when it comes to certain issues like, for example, crime or drugs, we know his very clear stance on it na galit siya, na he's very active in campaigning or fighting it, directing the PNP, AFP to do its part. When it comes to POGOs, sir, ano po exactly yung sentiments ni Presidente given na may mga lumilitaw ng issue surrounding POGOs and not just economic issues, may concerns of national security,
Hindi ba pinaiimbestigahan niya nga?
immigration.
Di ba? He issued directives to investigate all these reports of illegal practices, acts of corruption.
Pero is he against POGOs or in favor of POGOs at this point?
Since still operating, so wala pa siyang sinasabi na he's against it. You must remember that the POGO is giving us, from what I gather from Chairman Fred Lim, 17 billion pesos in the last 3 years. Prior to this, we were only receiving about 57 million on the online gambling. In other words, it's a huge source of income for this government where it can be used to all kinds of projects. In fact, I remember the president even saying that the increase in salary of nurses could be taken from them.
So these
If there is anything wrong with the system on POGO, then we have to review it, evaluate it, and then streamline it, improve it, and all the agencies involved must do their job so that any corruption, any unlawful acts can be either neutralized or completely stopped.
So whatever, kumbaga, despite yung mga controversy surrounding POGOs, the economic benefits at this point, kumbaga, make it hard for the president to make a stand kung dapat bang ayusin or ipagbawal yung POGOs.
Not that it make it hard for him. We have to wait for him because he will be waiting for reports coming from all agencies relative to this issue. And then he will make a decision on that.
Thank you, sir.
Follow up, Maricel, and then Joseph, follow up.
Sir, can we just, at least if the president is still studying whether to ban POGO in the country or not, can we just suspend it first while the investigation is ongoing? Why not just suspend
That will
it?
depend on the president's judgment.
So for now, you don't find it necessary to suspend the operation, even if there are lots of
As
controversies
I said, that's
surrounding-
for the president's judgment. I will ask him if we see him today, if we talk today.
Sir, do you think the country is having more benefits with the POGO than disadvantages na nakukuha natin, considering all the reports ng sex den, drugs, money laundering? Do you still feel that we're getting
Well, if you
more
can
benefits?
stop all these illegal practices, then POGO is good.
But it seems that we cannot stop it yet.
What do you mean we cannot stop it yet?
I mean,
That's,
there's still an issue on the sex
there,
den,
there
money
are there
laundering.
are incidents involving, and they're precisely being addressed by the concerned agencies.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Joseph?
Sir, you said a while ago regarding yung mga presidents ng PLAs, no, that it is the country, the palace is deeply alarmed or always alarmed when it comes to national interest issues. Do you think that this is a national security issue?
Which one?
The presence of the Chinese military?
If that is validated, then we will make our appropriate response. Until such time, it's just speculation.
Because Sister, we had an interview before kay Secretary Esperon as early as July. Ang issue pa nun was yung influx ng mga Chinese workers. And he, at that time, no, ay tinitingnan na niya yun as a problem, as a concern. From July to up to now, wala pa tayo, sir, opinion na we are not worried about the influx, whether this breeds mga criminal activities or yung mas higher risk na they might be spying on us. Wala tayo, sir.
I have not heard anything from Secretary Esperon and Secretary Lorenzana with respect to this.
Okay.
Okay, follow up, other issue. Follow up, Virgil.
Ay. Sir, reaction lang. Last night, nag-issue ng statement yung Chinese Embassy and in regarding dun sa mga incidents of crime involving Chinese.
Yeah, they're saying that these are isolated
Yeah,
incidents.
do you agree with that,
They're
sir?
saying that they're doing their very best to coordinate with the agencies of the government, especially when it involves illegal acts.
So, sir, does the palace agree with the Chinese embassy?
Well,
regarding-
that's their position. That is precisely we are investigating all this alleged.
Yeah, but for the palace, sir,
practices.
isolated lang yung mga nangyayari all around.
I do not know whether they are isolated or not. We have to record those incidents if it's really isolated.
And also, sir, sabi din po ng Chinese embassy na they are against na ginagamit yung issue yung sa mga criminal activities for, I mean,
They're
for
saying
political
that,
motives.
actually,
daw.
they're saying that it's being politicized. In other words, they're referring to the critics of the president.
Okay, follow up. Joyce and then, Maricel muna and then Joyce, follow up then.
Sir, one question lang. Sir, bakit mabilis or why is it easier for the president to decide on suspending the operations of Lotto following yung mga issues doon? But why is it, well, it seems that it's so difficult for him to
No,
decide
I don't think it's
now.
difficult. You know, when the president decides on something, he has the goods to back his decision, to back up his decision. If he has not received a comprehensive report on these illegal practices, then you cannot hurry him up. Ganon si Presidente. Abogado ito eh. Kami mga abogado, ganon eh. Palaging kailangan may ebidensya.
Meaning, sir, walang enough information or reports na natatanggap si Presidente.
Diba sinabi ko
Now,
na, di ba under investigation lahat, kaya nga may in-order siya na imbestigahan lahat yan. Kaya nag-aantay siya ng comprehensive report.
Sir, sino po ba yung gumagawa
In
ng
fact, yung sa, di ba sa
investigation?
immigration, meron na silang ginagawa.
So, who's doing the investigation now, sir? Or what kind of investigation? Meron po bang efforts coming directly from the Office of the President to
The
address
President
these
has
issues?
directed the concerned agencies like the customs, the immigration, the NBI, all of the law enforcement agencies.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, Joyce, and then Henry for other issue na.
Sir, with the money laundering issue, do you think it's timely to pass a law amending the absolute bank secrecy law?
That's for the legislature to decide.
Sabi po kasi ni Finance Assistant Secretary Tony Lambino, they will be in coordination with Congress to push again for the amendment of the bank secrecy law. Kasi po, twice na po na nilagay nila dun sa bill sa Congress and then tinanggal ng congressman yung provision on amending absolute bank secrecy law. So do you think it's time?
If that is the position of the Department of Finance, certainly the President will support it.
Will if a bill is filed, will the president be certifying it as an urgent measure?
I do not know whether it will be certified as urgent. What I'm saying is if that is the official position of the Finance Secretary and he can support his position with the President listens and usually support Secretary Dominguez.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, Ace muna, and then Henry, other issue.
Secretary, if I recall correctly, no, dati nung sinuspend yung STL, yung sa Lotto, pending the investigation. So there's such thing as a preventive suspension. So why can't we do the same sa POGOs? And then eventually, sabi nyo kasi kanina, hanggat walang comprehensive report, hindi mo siya pwedeng madaliin mag-decide. But then again, eventually yung STL na clear. Pero bago sila na-clear, na-suspend muna sila.
Ay kasi meron siyang mga natanggap na reports. Kaya if sinuspinde niya.
So in the case of the POGOs, why can't we do the same? Pending the receipt of
Let's
information.
not hurry up this President. This President is a very, what kind of judicious is one? You know, he's a lawyer. Pag lawyer kasi, hindi basta gumagalaw eh. Kailangan pakitaan mo ako ng malaking, kaya na sinabi ko kamo, kung talamak yan at nakikita niya, eh may gagawin niya.
So, if that's the case, what's the difference between yung sa STL, etc.
Ay, hindi
as
ko alam
against
kung ano yung
POGOs?
difference. Unang-una, how can you even compare? Wala pa tayo. Yung sa STL, meron na siyang decision doon. Ay dito, wala pa nga. Kasi nga, iniimbestigahan pa eh.
Well, we can compare because both are supposedly tagged in illegal activities and gambling.
You cannot compare kasi ngayon tapos na yung investigation niya doon. Eh dito hindi pa nga eh. Hindi pa nga siya, hindi pa nga as far as is concerned.
Sinuspend
No,
siya
teka
and
muna.
then tsaka
As far as the
na-clear.
President is concerned, nung sinuspindi niya yan, meron siyang basis. Eh dito wala pa nga siyang basis eh. Nung pinag-aaralan pa nga eh.
Hindi, kasi na-clear eventually yung ano eh. Kaya
O, kung nakli. Kasi siguro naayos. Kung baga, yung diferensya, ayusin niya yan para magkaayos ang kaya. Hindi ba maraming ginawa noon? Like, itong gawin niyo. May mga steps, procedures nang ginawa nila o di nilift niya. Ganun din siguro gagawin niya rito.
Sige, Sec. Thank you.
Okay. Henry, other issue.
Other issues lang, Secretary. This is with regards to the removal of Congressman Sid Ungab as chairperson of the Committee on Appropriations sa Congress. Ano po. May statement kasi ang hugpong ng pagbabago. At part of their statement, sabi po nila, he was specifically chosen by President Duterte as chairman of the committee, and the last time we checked, the President never ordered the removal of Ungab. If anything, the removal was an insult and affront to the president and not the party. What is your thought on this?
The president, as I said, will not interfere in the intramurals inside Congress.
Oh, yeah. So,
Joseph, follow up.
Hi, sir. Well, yung question ni Henry is not about the president meddling. It's the point is, does the palace consider nga na yung pagkatanggal ni Ungab, hindi yan affront sa HNP but the president? Hindi ba siya ganon yung pagtingin ng palasyo?
That is to assume na may kinalaman siya doon sa paglalagay doon sa kanyang ano.
Sabi nga ng HNP, sir,
Sabi
na
niya,
it
no?
was the
Ay,
president's decision.
hindi ko alam yon.
Ayun, sir. Now,
We-
again,
hindi-
read.
Oh, I do not know that. We have to ask the president kung may kinalaman nga siya. Yun ang sabi. We are not privy to that. We have to ask him.
So you're doubting Sarah?
Not necessarily. It only means I will not enter into the realm of speculation.
Okay, Henry.
Secretary, ito kasi yung eksaktong statement, verbatim. He was specifically chosen by the President. President Duterte's chairman of the committee, and the last time we checked, the President never ordered the removal of Ungab. If anything, the removal was an insult and affront to the President and not the party. This was the statement of HNP headed by the presidential daughter and the mayor of Davao.
Statement of HNP, not the mayor herself. Oh, but was he the one who issued that? And even assuming that she issued that, your question is, does the president consider it an insult? Yes. Oh, then I will ask him. I cannot be reading the thoughts of this president. You have to ask him.
Okay, sir.
Kung sabihin niya, ayan, yaman mo sila. Di tapos na kagad.
All right, we are resting our case. Thank you.
Okay, question sa MPC. Pia and then last na si Joseph. Maglalast na tayo kay Joseph. Pia.
Sir, regarding yung statement ulit ng hugpong ng pagbabago, sir, do you know anything about this, yung sinasabi nila? Did President Duterte choose
Kaya nga,
yung
hindi ko
leadership
nga
of
alam
the
yun. Di ba
committees?
sabi ko lang kanina, hindi ko alam yun. I'm not privy to that. So, hindi ko pa alam. I'll ask, don't worry.
But you said that the President never interferes
O
with,
hindi ba? Hindi naman siya nakialam nung lumapit sila kay Presidente.
nung lumapit.
Hindi naman sila lumapit. Hindi naman sila lumalapit ngayon, di ba? So,
Nung lumapit on the speakership, but
with
on the
respect to the
leadership of the
speakership,
committees, sir.
ay, hindi ko alam yun sa committee. Parang I never heard. Hindi ko alam yun. Parang ngayon ko lang nga narinig yun.
So you're not saying, you're not saying that yung statement ng hugpong na pagbabago is true or false. You're just saying you don't know anything about
Yeah, I
it.
don't know anything about it.
Alright.
That's why precisely I will ask the President.
Okay, mag-last question na tayo. Joseph.
Sir, press con ulit tayo pag nakausap mo na si sir.
Ba? Hindi, I will just issue a
Ambush na lang
statement. I will issue a statement.
Hindi sir, ganito. Yung sa PLA, okay, fine. Ang sabi niyo po is, I'm sure that the AFP is validating that report already, no? But Malacañang, the palace, no? The president, are you going to proactively try to at least know what's going on?
The palace doesn't have to do that because precisely kaya ka nga nasa executive eh. Kung ginagawa na trabaho ng mga opisina mo under your territory, bakit pagagawin mo? Trabaho nila yon. So, when their job is done, they report to the president and the president makes a decision.
This is not naman, sir, nonchalance or
No.
wala lang pake.
Basta kailangan merong palaging basis si presidente.
Okay, okay.
Okay, no more questions, MPC? Okay, thank you, MPC. Thank you, Secretary Panelo. Back to our main studio sa Radyo Pilipinas and People's Television Network.